Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli.
Assalamu alaikum. This is the Famis from Hudavi School. So, are you ready for today's maths lesson? I'm sure you are. First, let's watch a cartoon. This will tell you what we are going to learn today.
Hi, Stewie. Hi, Dylan.
Hey, Norman.
What's the matter?
We're trying to earn our word problems badge by keeping track of how many ducks and frogs there are in this pond. We have a problem.
That's great.
It is?
Sure. For every problem, there's an answer just waiting to be found. Let's see if we can find it together.
Okay. Okay.
How about we start with the ducks you were counting?
We counted 12 ducks in the pond. But then I fed the ducks and 7 more flew in and landed next to them. Now we don't know how many there are altogether.
Sounds like a word problem to me. Let's see. We know that more ducks came into the pond, and we need to find out how many there are all together. So to find the answer, we need to add. There are lots of ways to find the answer, but one of my favorites is to draw a picture.
I love to draw.
Okay, Stewie. Draw a picture of 12 ducks, and then draw 7 more ducks in the picture. Now count all the ducks.
There are 19 ducks altogether.
Right. So there are a total of 19 ducks in the pond. You know, another way to solve a problem like this is to count with objects, like these. Here's a 10 and 2 ones to represent the 12 ducks that were in the pond. Then we add 7 more ones to show the ducks that flew in. Now you just need to find the total.
Let's see. 1 10 and 9 ones equals 19. So that means there are 19 ducks in the pond.
Sure does. Now, let's figure out how many frogs are in the pond.
We counted 16 frogs sitting on lily pads.
But then I sneezed and 5 jumped away.
Now we don't know how many frogs are left.
Another great word problem. Yay! Okay, so we know that some frogs went away, and you want to find out how many are left. So to find the answer, you need to subtract. Now, when I subtract, I like to use 10 frames.
I have some of those in my backpack.
Okay, mark 16 frames for the 16 frogs on the lily pads. Now, cross out the last 5 for the frogs that hopped away. What do you have left?
I have 1 10 frame that's full and 1 more in the other 10 frame. That means there are 11 frogs left.
Sure does. Isn't it great that there are so many ways to solve problems? I learned them when I got my strategies badge. A strategy is just a way to solve a problem. Now, another strategy you could use to solve this problem is a number line.
Oh, I have one of those too.
Of course you do. A good number scout is always prepared. Start at number 16. That's how many frogs you started with. And count back 5 spaces to subtract the frogs that hopped away.
That puts me at 11. 11 frogs in the pond.
Right! Looks like you're gonna earn your word problems badges after all.
Yes! Woohoo!
Yeah, man!
Good job! Remember the Junior Number Scouts motto.
Stand up and be counted.
That's right! Now, here's a number riddle for you. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Digit.
Digit who?
Did you know math could be so much fun?
Good one, Norman.
Interesting, right? So, what are we going to learn today? Word problems. Very good. So, today we are going to learn addition and subtraction word problems which involve positive and negative integers. So, from the video, you have seen ways on how to solve the word problems of addition and subtraction and how to find the answer. There are many ways that you can find the answer, right? And also, you have known that word problems are solving problems which we come across in real life. Like in the video, you saw that kids were trying to find out how many frogs were there in the pond, how many ducks were there in the pond, right? When solving word problems, it will be easy for you to find the answer if you follow certain steps. So first, let's look on to steps on solving word problems. Before looking onto the steps in solving word problems, let's go through the learning intention and success criteria of this lesson. Learning intention. Students will learn how to solve addition and subtraction word problems of integers. Success criteria. Students will be successful if they are able to identify the steps in solving word problems and if they are able to use appropriate operation and solve the word problem. Steps in solving word problems. First thing you can do is underline what is asked to find in the question and write it down. So you have to identify the question in the word problem and underline and write it down. Okay, that's the first step. The second step is you have to write the information given in the question. Read the question carefully and write down the information that is given in the question. That is the second step. Okay, let's look on to the third step. Third step is you need to use the correct operations and solve the problem. If you have to add, you add, and if you have to subtract, you subtract and find the answer. Okay. Before going to the examples, it is very important to recall the addition and subtraction rules and also the addition and subtraction keywords, the keywords that you can use to solve word problems. Keywords will indicate whether you have to add or subtract in a question. So now let's look on to the keywords of addition and subtraction and the rules of addition and subtraction. Keywords of addition. If you see total, if you have to find the total in the question, if you ask to find the sum, if you ask to find how much is all together, if you are asked to add, if you see more, and if you see something is rising or something is going up, then we can do addition to find the answer. Keywords of subtraction. If you see less than in the question, if you see fewer, how many more, or if you are asked to find how much more is there, if minus is there, take away is there, left is there, down is there, or if you are asked to find remaining, then all these words can indicate that you can subtract and find the answer. Okay? Rules of addition and subtraction of positive and negative integers. If you have a positive and positive, you are going to add and write positive sign in the answer. If you have a negative and negative, you are going to add and write negative sign in the answer. If you have a positive and negative, you are going to subtract and write the sign of the bigger number in the answer. Similarly, if you have a negative and positive, you will be subtracting and writing the sign of the bigger number in the answer. So here we can see if we have same sign positive and same sign negative and negative, we will be adding and writing the respective sign. If it is two positives, we write positive sign in the answer. If it is two negatives, we write negative sign in the answer. And also we can see if we use different signs, positive and negative, we are subtracting and writing the sign of the bigger number. So now, do you remember the rules of addition and subtraction? And also, do you remember the keywords of addition and subtraction? Yes. Now we are ready to look on to examples. So let's check some examples on how to find the solution for word problems for positive and negative integers. Example 1. The temperature inside a freezer is minus 28 degrees Celsius. The temperature outside the freezer is 12 degrees Celsius higher. What is the outside temperature? So from this question, first you have to underline what you have to find in the question. So can you look at the question and can you see what is asked in the question? Have you identified it? Here it is, right? What is the outside temperature? That is what is asked in the question. So first step is you identify and write what is asked to find. So now we will write it. What is the outside temperature? Then the next step is you have to find out what are the things that are given in the question, right? So look at the question. What is the information given in the question? Look at the first sentence. Temperature inside a freezer is minus 28 degrees Celsius. So that is the information that we know. So write it down. Temperature inside is minus 28 degrees Celsius. Do you see any other information given in the question? Look at the second sentence. Temperature outside the freezer is 12 degrees Celsius higher. So that is another information that we can get. So write it down. Temperature outside is 12 degrees Celsius. So these are the information given in the question, right? So to find the outside temperature, we have to add the two numbers. Why are we adding? Look at the information given. There is a keyword higher. So higher means we have to add the two numbers. So we will be adding minus 28 and 12. So we will be writing minus 28 plus 12, right? And we need to find that answer. So when we add minus 28 and 12, it's a negative and positive number that we are adding. So based on the rules, if it is a negative and positive that we are adding, we will be subtracting and writing the sign of the bigger number, right? So let's do the subtraction. So we can write tens and units because we have 28 and 12 to write down, right? So 8 will come under units and 2 will come under tens and 2 will come under units and 1 will come under tens. So we have written 28 and 12. We are going to subtract the two numbers, right? So subtract 8 minus 2 will give 6. 2 minus 1 will give, what is 2 minus 1? It is 1. Very good. So now our answer is 16. But are you going to write 16 as the final answer? No. Look at the rule. We have to write the sign of the bigger number, right? So we will be writing outside temperature is minus 16 degrees Celsius. Why are we writing minus 16? Based on the rule, the two numbers that we are adding, do you see that circle? I have circled minus 28 and 12. Those are the two numbers that we have to find, right? So from that we can see the bigger number is 28 and 28 is having the minus sign. So that means our answer should have that minus sign. So that's why outside temperature is minus 16 degrees Celsius. Example 2. Kaisan, Ali and Aisha go to the market. Kaisan realizes that he has forgotten his purse at home. After shopping, Ali is left with 55 rupiah and Aisha has only 23 rupiah. Kaisan needs 82 rupiah for the things he bought. Will he be able to borrow money from his friends? If not, then how much more money does he need? So, look at the question. So, what's the first thing that we need to identify? Yes, we need to identify what is asked in the question, right? So, here we can see that there are two question marks. Do you see two question marks in the question? Yes. So, that means we need to answer these two questions to solve this problem. Okay. So, let's identify these two questions, underline it. So, first one, will he be able to borrow money from his friends? Right? Underline the next one. How much more money does he need? So, we are going to answer the two questions. So, first you can answer the first question, so it will be easy. Okay? So, write down the first question. Will he be able to borrow money from his friends? Right? Then the next step in problem solving is we need to write down what is given in the question, right? What is the information given in the question? Yes, one is money Kaisan need is 82 rupiah, right? And the other information given is Ali is left with 55 rupiah and Aisha has 23 rupiah. That means the money left with friends is 55 rupiah and 23 rupiah. So these are the information given in the question. So in order to find whether Kaisan can borrow money from his friends, so first we know that Kaisan needs 82 rupiah, right? So then we have to check how much money can the friends give him, right? So in order to do that, you have to find the total the friends have, isn't it? So total means what we will do? Total means we will be adding. Very good. So we'll be adding 55 and 23 to find the total, right? So here we are adding a positive number 55 and a positive number 23. So according to the rule, positive and positive adding means we will be adding and writing the positive sign, right? So let's do the addition. So we'll be writing tens units because we have to write 55 and 23. So write down 5 under units, 5 under tens. 3 under units and 2 under tens for 23. So we have written the two numbers 55 and 23. Then we will be writing the addition sign and we need to add. Start from the units column, isn't it? 5 plus 3 will give 8. 5 plus 2 will give 7. So total is 78. So we can say friends have 78 rupiah to give to Kaisan, right? So Kaisan needs 82 rupiah, isn't it? But friends have 78 rupiah to give to Kaisan. So he will not be able to borrow money from his friends, right? Because he needs 82 but friends have 78. Friends have less money. So he can't borrow, isn't it? Now that we have answered the first question, now let's answer the second question. Now we have known that Kaisan will not be able to borrow money from his friends, right? So that means we have to now check how much more money does he need, right? So let's write down the question. How much more money does he need? So in order to answer this, we'll be writing what is given in the question, right? What is the information given? we know that money Kaisan needs is 82 rupiah, right? And also we know that money Kaisan's friends can give is 55 rupiah and 23 rupiah. That we have found it is a total of 78 rupiah, right? So how much more money means we have to subtract the two numbers, right? So we'll be subtracting 82 and 78. So if we subtract a positive and a positive number, we are going to subtract and write the sign of the bigger number. So in this case, we will subtract and write positive sign because the bigger number here is 82, right? So let's do the subtraction. So we can write tens and units because we want to write 82 and 78 in the table, right? So write 2 under units, write 8 under tens, write 8 under units and 7 under tens. So we have written 82 and 78. So now we have to subtract the two numbers. So first we will start with the units column, isn't it? And we can see 2 minus 8 we have to do. So since 2 is less than 8, we are going to borrow 1 from the previous number, right? So we will borrow 1 from 8. So 8 will now become 7 and 2 will now become 12, right? Then start the subtraction. 12 minus 8 will give 4 and 7 minus 7 will give 0. So our answer is 4. So we can write Kaisan needs 4 rupiah. Keep in mind, students, even though in the examples I have explained you to do addition and subtraction using column method and using the rules of addition and subtraction, you have to keep in mind that there are many different ways that you can find the answer. That there are many different ways that you can add and subtract. For example, you can use the number line, you can use counters, also you can draw and find the answer. Okay, so now let's do an activity. I will give you 2 word problems so you can solve them. Okay, now let's look on to the activity. At 6 am, the temperature in a city was minus 2 degrees Celsius. By 2 pm, it has risen by 19 degrees Celsius. What is the temperature in the city at 2 pm? So, look at the question, think about it, apply the problem solving steps and try to find the answer. Now, let's discuss the answer. So first you need to identify what is asked in the question, right? So what is asked? What is the temperature in the city at 2 pm, right? So then you have to identify what is given in the question. Information given is at 6 am, temperature in the city was minus 2. By 2 pm, it has risen by 19 degrees Celsius, right? So, two information we know. So, by 2 pm, what happened to the temperature? Temperature rise by 19 degrees Celsius. So, that means at 2 pm, the temperature we have to add the two numbers. Why? Because rise is there. So, we will be adding minus 2 plus 19, isn't it? So, when we do that, we will apply the rules. We have a negative and positive number. Different sign is there. So, different sign means we will be subtracting, right? And writing the sign of the bigger number, right? So we'll be subtracting 19 minus 2. So it will give 17, right? So it will give 17. It is plus 17 because it is the sign of the bigger number, isn't it? Now let's look on to the second question. Jill had 43 rupiah in the bank. She needs 65 rupiah to buy clothes. How much more money does she need to buy clothes? Now let's try to solve this question. Okay, let's discuss the answer. So here also we need to identify what is asked in the question, right? What is asked? How much more money does she need to buy clothes, right? How much more money? So the information given is Jill had 43 in the bank. She needs 65 to buy clothes, right? So these two information we know, and we have to find how much more. How much more means we'll be subtracting, right? 65 minus 43 will give the answer. So here also we are subtracting. So again we'll be subtracting and writing the sign of the bigger number, right? So when we subtract 65 and 43, you get 22. Sign of the bigger number here is 65. It is having a positive sign. When no sign is there, it is a positive sign, right? So positive 22 is your answer. Did you get the two answers? Very good.
Good job everyone. So, hope you have got an idea on how to solve word problems of addition and subtraction which involves positive and negative integers. See you next time. Bye bye.